July 1st, 2018. The Overton's 400, the Chicagoland Speedway, is winding to a close. One of the greatest finishes in NASCAR history is taking place. But how did we get here? How was the stage set for the closing act of the 17th race of the 2018 campaign? There are really three main players that define this story: Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Starting with Earnhardt, the man who exclaimed the long, famous phrase. Dale Jr. had announced in 2017, in the middle of his final Cup season, that he would be joining NASCAR and NBC's team in 2018. The race weekend at Chicagoland would turn out to be his first race as a Cup analyst. While Jr. arguably is the most popular driver in NASCAR's history, there was no guarantee that he would have what it took to be a good broadcaster. Even popular figures of the sport's past, like Jeff Gordon and Darrell Waltrip, have become unpopular amongst large amounts of fans over the years. So, Earnhardt needed to make a good launching point for his first broadcast at Joliet. Moving from the booth to the track, there's the two Kyles of the story. Starting with Kyle Busch, who has become, over the last half-decade, one of the most elite and well-decorated drivers of this generation. Heading into Chicagoland, he was one of the major favorites for the 2018 title. As for the other Kyle, Kyle Larson was coming off of his best season ever in 2017, but had cooled off considerably in 2018. The 2018 season as a whole leading up to Chicagoland was a dull one. While there were some intense moments, many of the season's races had been snoozers, both on the track and in the broadcast booth. But as the green flag flew over the field for the 2018 Overton's 400, the trajectory of the season swung up. The first stage had a good amount of passing throughout the field and was fairly entertaining for a cookie-cutter track. But as the second stage entered, so did the rising competition as well. Throughout this time, the broadcast had new energy, as booth newcomer Dale Jr. had brought a fresh perspective to the sport, having been in the car only 7 months prior to this race, making each moment be seen more in depth. And so Stage 2 also ended with more energy, as teammates Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick raced to the finish of the stage for the win. Everything was ramping up as the race went on into the second half, and it just continued to ramp up, and by the final run, after nearly 400 miles of racing, the two Kyles managed to find each other in first and second. Larson was charging hard through the pack. Coming to the white flag, he was catching Busch fast.
Kurt Busch right up in front of the 42. Now he moves out of the way. Nobody in between the 18 and 42.
Kyle Busch again to the bottom. Another opportunity for Larson to get a huge run.
Coming up on one lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. And there's the gap between 1 and 2. Kyle Busch. And here comes Larson. Larson to the bottom of the track.
Slide job.
Trying to take the lead away.
Slide job. Almost.
The momentum. The 18. They make contact. The 18 into the wall. They're side by side again. Going into 3 for the lead. Larson has the advantage. Here comes the 18. He puts the bump into the back of him. The 18 into the wall. The 42 sideways.
Where's Harvick?
Here comes the 18. Kyle Busch will win.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Busch's win proved to be his 5th of the season, and he'd go on to win 8 total races in 2018 and finish 4th in points. Larson would have a disappointing end to his season, and it would end early in the playoffs. And to this point in 2019, Busch is still an elite driver, while Larson is in the middle of arguably his worst Cup season ever. As for the NBC booth, starting with Chicagoland and on from there, they have become the most popular NASCAR TV provider. But now, I pass it on to you in the present. What do you think of the 2018 race at Chicagoland? Do you think this was the race that changed how people viewed NBC's NASCAR coverage? Let me know down below. And until next time, have a good one.